Corner Cafe, and this is our nonprofit feature, and I'm so excited because I love these people. We have Eric and Rachel Dufour in studio. Yay!
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
And you guys are so busy. I know because I work with you guys. I help you guys out with a lot of things, assistant stuff, and traveling because you're from France, and you just got back somewhere else too. Where was that?
We were in Italy.
For our 30th anniversary.
Oh, 30th.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, and you guys are just an inspiration with your nonprofit, helping. You know, this is a key thing that we need help nowadays is the family unit is getting destroyed.
Yes.
And there's so many things that are coming against the family unit, and you guys are there to help people to get restored, and you're just a safe place for people to really talk about all these things, from addictions to, how do I get married, to sexuality. So what is on your heart right now in your ministry, an area that you guys are focusing on?
Well, we've seen 2020 was quite bad for many families, put a lot of pressure on many people because of the pandemic. Fear was a huge factor, and then the fear of losing their jobs and stuff like that. So we've seen many couples struggling, and it puts a lot of pressure on already existing issues. But then suddenly, because people were locked in, and then staying at home together, not having any excuse to go elsewhere, being locked at home, then we saw many issues growing among couples. Yes.
So bringing resources to those people was key for 2020, 2021, but also for pastors and missionaries, because with the COVID and everything that was going on, they have been struggling as well. So our workload has increased a lot.
You're in high demand, for sure.
Trying to bring help to help people see further than the crisis.
Yes. And I have actually had friends who have heard some stories who got divorced because of being brought together during the pandemic.
Which is wild.
Yes. And we have Kirk here. He's our Corner Cafe personality. He's good friends with you guys.
I am sitting here trying to contain myself. I'm trying to act normal.
Is that going to work?
I'm trying to. These are some of my favorite people on earth, and right before they walked in, I had proof. They are actually, or Eric is quoted in my book right in the beginning. I have a whole paragraph with his name.
That says it all.
I mean, I have been in their home. We have known each other for years now. I don't know how many years, but these are literally some of my favorite people. I love them. Just if you hang out with these two and you're not better, there's something wrong with you. They are awesome people with great perspectives and just So I'm just sitting here trying to act like I'm not a fan. I'm just trying to act normal.
Well, what I love about you guys is that you guys talk about issues that I feel like the church sometimes won't talk about.
Right.
And I love that, because it's like, and this is one of the reasons why young people and old people continue to gravitate to more ideas of the world or secular mindset, because they are at least, even though their concepts are a lot wrong, but they're at least making an attempt to just throw stuff out there where the church will kind of shy back and won't say anything.
Right.
This is what I love about your guys' ministry. So my pleasure. What type of I don't want to use the word pushback. I don't want to see the word resentment, but what type of pushback do you guys get? Or did you get any from churches that say, "Oh no, that's too deep. We can't,"
Yes,
do we get any? We're getting used to it, but it's true that when we started talking about sexuality and addressing those.
I'm sorry, you got to say that word again. Say that again.
Sexuality.
It's so cute how she says
with her
it.
accent, it sounds. I like woo. That's cool. Go ahead.
That's why they have 5 sons.
We can talk about it. We are friends. So yes, but you know what?
Told you I know them.
Long evenings, winter time.
Cold night.
That's
you know
awesome.
what? God created sexuality. So the fact that some people in churches were reluctant to us addressing this topic is okay, because the more you talk about it, the better you get grasps God's view on it, and it's beautiful, it's holy. Let's talk about it. We should be the place in the church where we speak the best about that topic.
Right.
Maybe not the most, but the best. We have been
Yes.
robbed by the enemy of something that was created by God for us, for our pleasure and our joy and our growth, etc. And because of many different reasons, we can't speak about it anymore. People say it's dirty, it's something that is unholy, a necessary evil. We heard it all. And so people are ashamed to speak about those topics at church, when in fact it should be the Christians who should speak about it the best.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we have been robbed by the devil about something that is so important, so crucial. 100% of the people around us are sexual beings. And so when you have 100% of your congregation that is struggling and dealing with some issues, and you think that no, I'm not going to speak about it. I'm going to let the world teach them what to do and how to do it.
Right. That's
Right.
I mean, it's
Sad.
suicidal somehow.
Yeah.
And
Because-
that's, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but that is why we have the family unit breakdown. Because if you can't go to your church
Yes.
about your problems, then
Right.
where are you going to go? Like we all said, you're going to go to the world or to the movies or whatever.
Right.
And then you're going to make choices that create dysfunction
Yes.
and further the dysfunction with your choices.
Yeah.
So you guys also have addiction courses online,
Yes.
and you offered that. What do you feel right now, especially with the pandemic? Has addictions grown now with this pandemic? Is it a rise, or is it people are more comfortable to talk about it, or what do you see going on with that?
I'd say we've seen a rise with sexual addictions, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, because like we say, because of the pressure that you put on people about losing your job or else, and then people looked for ways to compensate or find comfort. And yes, sexual addictions really were on the rise, and stuck at home with a computer, and then guess what? So yes, we've seen that
And
multiplying.
loneliness. People got very lonely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isolated.
Because porn is more it's gratification, and you don't need a partner for that. But love, with the way God has designed it, you have to have someone to reciprocate what you're trying to, and communication is key, because you can communicate what love is between the two,
Yes.
and then have a great an amazing sexual relationship when you communicate well. But I think what the world has tried to not necessarily communicate, but wanted to just put out there as headliners: have more sex.
Yeah.
Go back to the '60s and do
The sexual
sexual revolution. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And do those kinds of things without really teaching. And when you said something that was really important, you said the word dirty, because when we are out there and when we're young and we do things as Christians, we're like, oh my God, I feel so dirty. And not understanding, okay, that's a natural thing you're doing. You just have to do it under the right circumstances.
Right. Yes.
And that's being that was never really taught, because I come up in Pentecostal holiness, and I think maybe Kirk, did you come up in Pentecostal holiness?
I came up in a whole lot of stuff. Everything. I'm like a mutt.
So he could identify with this.
Yeah.
Where in the Pentecostal church, they were like, young girls, you wear your skirts, keep your legs, and hey, you sit proper, and without telling them, you're beautiful. Men will be attracted to you, and this is how they should treat you. And you teach them if they don't know how to teach you, if their dads didn't teach them. You teach them. You don't just giggle and because that's the sign to a guy, like, oh, she wants me. He's made me like I don't want to necessarily date you. You're giggling, but I can have you, kind of thing. So the communication is not there. In the Pentecostal church where I grew up in, the communication wasn't there. There was no conversation about that. Yeah.
No conversation.
Yeah.
Well, sexual revolution and Puritanism has brought together two big lies, I think, for people. We have made to believe that when we're single, we cannot live without being sexually active, which is not true. It's a lie. And we have been led to believe that when we're married, we can live without being sexually intimate. Those are two lies.
The devil
But
is a lie.
Yeah, they're cross. They are mixed up. And you're right. We need to re-explain to people what it means to be a sexual beings. When we're single, there are ways to handle our sexual energy in a beautiful way. That doesn't mean being sexually active.
Right.
And when we are married, there is a spiritual protection that comes to the sexual relationship that needs to be embraced as well. So yes, teaching that, bringing the Bible in the center again of our sexual beings, single or married, is beautiful. And it's a key
Wow, it
to
is.
combat lies.
You have a book that you wrote mainly to women, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, but it's good if guys read it
Well,
too.
it's good if guys read it. What's the title of that book?
Okay, we have two titles now. I'll explain why. My first title is Hooray for the Vajayjay.
I have that book.
Yep. And we have found that some people have a hard time touching the Hooray for the Vajayjay, the book.
Yeah.
So we have created, and Rachel, you helped me with that beautifully, created a cover, a jacket. Do you want to explain it?
Yeah, it's Understanding Eve.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Which is beautiful. It's a beautiful title.
So you can undercover read Hooray for the Vajayjay, right? With Understanding Eve on the top of it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I
and
love it.
that
Very
goes back
clever.
to the first point there. You know, Adam and Eve, God created. So, and he said, "Be fruitful and multiply." Wow,
Yeah.
that was his one of the first things he told them to do. So, taking people back to the Bible in terms of the creation and getting people to see how God intended for sexuality.
Yeah.
Now, you guys go and speak at churches, and you're very busy doing that. Do you have plans in the new year? I know you're going to be traveling a lot to other countries, but for any churches nearby or in the United States to be talking about this topic?
We don't have a church booked next year yet, but we are going to Europe a lot, traveling a lot. But if churches
We're
are
going to come with you to
interested,
Europe, all three of
Yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah.
Groupies.
Yes.
We'll get on your tour bus and
Yes.
everything.
if churches are interested, we are very happy to talk about this topic in the States as well.
Now, do you find that comparative to the United States churches and then people in Europe are different and receive this topic differently, more apt to
Good question.
receive you? Say in Europe, for example, the United States, and if so, why do you think that is?
There is Puritanism in both places, like Puritanism from the Protestant background here in the States, in North America in general, because we work in Canada too. And in Europe, it's more from Catholicism, but we find on both places have this Puritanism, like we should not speak about those things. It's maybe a little bit more open in Europe, maybe, because people come from a more secular background, so they are more open speaking about the sexual intimacy and stuff. So, but we can see Puritanism on both sides, definitely, yes. Yeah.
My question for you guys is, I'm not sure if we've asked you this before. I don't think so, because I probably would have already known the answer for it. So what was it like when it clicked? I'm not necessarily talking sexually for you as a married couple, but because it's difficult to find someone to communicate sex with. I had a problem with that in my first marriage, that we couldn't communicate sexually. Not physically, I'm talking about just verbally. Just couldn't communicate. So what was it for you guys that the communication just seems like, ooh, she gets me, or you look at him and he's like, oh my God, she gets me. We're on the same wavelength here. We get it.
Go ahead.
I think we were blessed to start dating very early. And we built who we are today by talking about everything. And I think it was a gift from God to understand from the beginning that sexuality is a gift and beautiful. And so there was no reason why we should not talk about it. So early in our relationship, we touch every topic and build this relationship.
I was 21 years old when I got saved by Christ, so I had time to do some bad stuff before, bad choices before being a believer.
She said bad choices.
Rachel was not one of those. But definitely I knew that I would never be able to be in a relationship with someone without talking about those topics, because I knew how important it was and how damaging it had been for me without knowing Christ. So the day I got saved, I realized that, okay, I'll never ever do with a woman what I've done in the past with others. So I want it to be something that we're not going to go around the bush about those topics. We're going to speak about it.
Right.
And once we knew that we would get married together, and God showed us that He called us to get married together, then we didn't speak about it right away, indeed.
Right.
But that was a natural topic that came on the table, because we knew it was important to speak about it together. I didn't want to make any mistakes anymore in this area of my life.
Right.
That's one of
Very
our
good.
goals with my books, is to give a tool to couples to talk about their sexual relationship. They can take, at the end of each chapter, I have questions, and they can read out loud. It works very well. Out loud to each other, my book, and then they go through the questions. And they find themselves opening the line of communication at the sexual level. They find healing and growth in their sexual relationship.
Yeah.
Now, you said a very important word there. You said the word growth. So for, I guess, your perspective for people that may be struggling in their relationships as a married couple, to say, okay, it's a process. Kirk we were talking to him earlier. We
weren't talking about sex.
No, we weren't talking about sex.
Just to be clear,
one of
never
his,
do that.
Just relationships.
Yeah, well, he had mentioned one of his ideas was said it's a marathon. It's not just a sprint.
Yeah.
And so with relationships, with sexuality, and then your communication, it's if they fail to communicate, just continue to communicate, because it's a process.
Right.
Yes,
You know?
and never taboo any topic. Because it's very often, because it hurts, and a taboo always starts with a good intention. I don't want to get hurt, or I don't want to hurt my spouse, so we're just going to stop talking about it.
Right.
And at the beginning, it feels like, oh, it's good, we are not having fights anymore, because, but it's not, there's no healing. It's just you're not talking about it anymore.
Right.
You're burying it all down.
There's no
And in
healing.
fact, taboo will grow like a tumor, and then at the end, you won't be able to communicate at all, like you're saying,
Right.
because you chose early on not to communicate about those things anymore for any given reasons. And most of the time, it's because we don't want to hurt.
Right.
And I want to mention that you guys have a lot of resources. One of them, it's ericandracheldufour.com. You have the 11 Keys to Better Communication, which people
Really
can
good,
download right now. Also, we have
Probably
the
first best book to get is the communication.
Because communication builds the foundation
Trust and everything.
for
Yes.
a healthy marriage, which for everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Good point, Rachel.
You know what I love about, and I've heard you speak or present like to churches, to a church or to a group, and one of the things I love about you two, and there's a lot of things I love about you two, but one of the things I love about you is that, well, for one, you come at things from a counseling perspective,
But not a judging.
exactly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, very relatable and very safe. Whether you're speaking one-on-one, or whether you're speaking to a group of people, whether I've heard you talk to like pastors and leaders kind of on that level, but I've also heard you speak kind of on a personal level to to individual couples. And so to be safe, is safety a huge part of being able to relate and to connect in terms of all these things to talk about?
Safety and trust. Those are keys. That's the ground for fertile ground for love to grow. Yes.
Beautiful. Wow.
Love it.
How does people get in touch with you guys, or how do they get all your material, or did they book you for seminars? What's your email? What's your website? What's your text? What's your
and I can help with that.
Yeah.
Rachel, I can help with that. So just
I can tell you their phone number right now.
So it's ericandracheldufour.com. That's ericandracheldufour.com. That's the best way to get in contact, and on the website they can contact.
Awesome.
So and there's resources, like I said, the 11 Keys to Better Communication. Also, we have the first 2 chapters of Rachel's book for free download as well.
Yes.
So,
Very good.
And great blogs as well, and videos.
yeah.
So
They're awesome.
all right, we're going to have them back in about 3 months or
Definitely.
so. We're going to continue the conversation. This is just so needed. Families are really struggling, and thank you guys
Yes.
for what you're
Thank you
doing.
so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we'll be back. Stay tuned.